Hello everybody, welcome back to another live. In the last live, I spoke about our program, I spoke about our classes, I spoke about our belt structure, and I spoke about gradings and graduations. So if I quickly show you guys, see if I can bring this up here. So I showed you guys what our grading and graduation look like over here. So this was our structure, is our structure to our belts. And you can see how a child progresses. What I'm going to do today is focus on the junior level belts. All of our students, apart from one student, are green tag and below. So all of our students are in the junior belt categories. And a big part of our program is that we include kit throughout the training. So every time your child needs kit, we actually include it. And we structured it in quite an interesting way, which I'll show you guys now. So obviously there's classes, which I've talked about, and grading and graduation I've talked about. There's character development, which I'm going to be speaking about tomorrow. And there's kit, which I will be speaking about today. The reason we include kit is basically from speaking with so many parents. I think the last thing a busy parent in Dubai needs is their child running home saying, I need the latest kit, I need the latest sparring kit, the latest uniform. Instead, what we say is we release this kit gradually as your child progresses through the belts. So I'll quickly explain what we do. So this is the essential kit here. So at white belt level, providing your child has finished their trial introduction class with us and they have passed their uniform test. Now the uniform test is a 7-day behavior checklist, which is done at home. It takes 7 days to complete. And it's things like ensuring your child brushes their teeth every day, they make their bed in the morning, they do their homework on time, they say please and thank you, and they do various other things as well. And what we ask parents to do is to try and make it age specific. So if your child's really good at most of those, we ask parents to try and add a couple of things on. I have had a couple of parents who come back with some interesting things like make mum and dad's bed or make mum a cup of coffee in the morning. It's up to you guys how much you want to add on to that. But what we find is, and the reason we do it, is because it puts martial arts in the right context. I think there's this amazing urge for students to want to start a martial arts program just because they want the kit and they want to look like a martial artist. But what we try and do from the very first class is say, it's not just about the kicking and punching and wearing the uniform. In fact, it's bringing the lessons from the dojo back into the home life. And so after doing a 7-day behavior checklist at home, something clicks in a student's mind. They come back into class and they realize it's much more than just kicking and punching, which I think is really, really important. So the uniform test, once completed, earns you the uniform. And that is at white belt level. So this is what it looks like here. Here is the white belt. So once you get to this level, you are awarded with the uniform. So we've got top, we've got trousers, and we've got the belt. And what we try and do is award this in class. Everyone claps, and we make it quite a big, make quite a big deal out of it to reinforce the success of a child becoming a warrior, entering our warrior family, and of course, doing the challenge of the last 7 days. After about 3 months, your child will be invited to grade, and they'll go for their yellow tag belt. So if your child is a yellow tag this term, if they are wearing this colored belt, a white belt with a yellow stripe through the middle. So we call these lines tags. If they are wearing this belt, then next week you will receive a Warrior Academy t-shirt like this. So this is going to be really useful if we're ever doing events or we're training outside, guys. And a lot of our students wear this underneath their uniform. On top of that, what we like to give as well, and we've given it to a lot of students at the last grading, is the license book. The license book will basically hold all of the information, a record of your training over your journey with us. So as you flick through the license book, you fill in your details on the first page here. And there's lots of interesting information about taekwondo, so I can get on the camera, about our club, about the club rules. And then as we go through, you can see we stamp the book as the child progresses. So once they've passed that belt, they get a stamp in their book. And what we'd like to see is every single belt eventually stamped up. And then we do run separate courses as well, like first aid courses, weapons training courses, sparring courses, all of these exciting things to the point where they actually do instructors courses as well. There's also things like competition attendance. So when your children do compete with us, and we're hoping to do big competitions in Dubai, that's all logged in the book as well. So these become quite sentimental little books, really, and really valuable for us as instructors to have a really good insight just by flicking through about the journey your child's been on. What I will say as well with our competitions is we try and get students sparring as soon as possible because we know what an amazing impact it makes to encourage students to compete very, very carefully, very, very slowly, bringing them out of their comfort zone. And of course, that's only achievable when they feel safe and happy and respected in a really supportive community like the Warrior family. We've even had a couple of students, Sam and Karim, from our Dubai classes who flew all the way to the UK to compete in one of our UK competitions. So that's absolutely amazing. And I think they did really, really well. The next thing, guys, is once you have achieved your yellow tag belt, you'll then go for your yellow belt. So if your child is wearing this color belt, a full yellow belt, then it gets quite exciting because the kit they're getting is worth about 500 dirhams. So this is the kit bag they will get. So next week, if your child's yellow belt, you'll be receiving this kit bag. We've upgraded the kit bags. They're really good now, actually. You can use them as a kit bag for water bottles, training kit, all that sort of stuff. I'll just move this back so you guys can see what I'm doing. So inside this kit bag, you'll be able to see down here, we're going to be going for the yellow belt upper sparring kit. Just get me back on camera here so you guys can see. So from here, guys, of course, we need 2 sets of gloves because we are going to start sparring with our yellow belts. As well as that, there, of course, is the head guard. So head guard and gloves. Okay, we don't say here's the full kit and straight away you're sparring, going straight into it. We've got a very different approach, which I'm going to explain in a second. But if your child's a yellow belt, next week you'll be getting these 3 bits of sparring kit, as well as a gum shield, as well as a bag. Now we give a very standard gum shield. A lot of parents want a more fitted gum shield. I was just going to a dentist for that. But what we can do is give you this very basic gum shield and you mold it by putting it in hot water. I'm sure you guys know how to do that. But we're here to give you any advice you need on fitting them. So this is everything the yellow belts get. Cool. Now, sparring, obviously, it's a big part of martial arts. Why do we do sparring? Well, we want to put the techniques we've been teaching children into a competitive environment. Interesting to hear. Thank you very much. I'm glad that it's going well, guys. Awesome stuff. Lovely. Good. Yeah, I'm hoping this is quite insightful because it's the easiest way for me to explain to lots of parents at once exactly what we're doing and how we're giving kit out. But back to the sparring kit. We feel it's very important to teach sparring. Of course, as a martial artist, we want our students to be able to compete in martial arts. You may have seen our students doing a game called elbow, tummy, shoulder tag. Some martial arts clubs, your first time going there, and I've heard horror stories of this, they're given gloves and they're told to do sparring straight away. We do not do that. Instead, what we do, guys, is we play this game, elbow, tummy, shoulder tag, where we teach students to stand with their hands up here, and they try and tag the shoulders and the tummy and the elbows, and they start to move like they're boxing in a really fun, safe way. So the first thing we do when we put the head guard and the gloves on at yellow belt level, when a child spent 2 full terms with us, is we ask them to play this game. So essentially they're doing exactly the same thing. They're doing the game again, but they're doing it with pads on. So the pads don't feel like a foreign thing they're wearing, and they don't feel like suddenly they need to be aggressive because they're wearing gloves. Instead, they're playing. And a lot of the time when I've been training in Thailand, one of the biggest things I found that really was the difference for me was that when the Thais are sparring, they're really just playing martial arts. Whereas a lot of the times when the English are sparring, and I found this in very amateur clubs in England, it's such a different environment. So we want to try and get that playful spirit that the Thais have when they learn martial arts, and we inject that into our junior program, which is great fun. So finally, guys, when your child earns their green tag belt, it looks like this. They will be going for, let's have a look, see if I've got it here. Yes, so it's time for them to have their own breaking board. And we normally give them a yellow breaking board. Yellow breaking board is the easiest board to break, and it's great for technique, practicing technique. There's about 150 to 200 breaks in each board, so they don't last forever. But they're an amazing tool to develop focus, to develop accuracy, to teach a young person to calm their mind before they strike, and they're great fun as well. And it's something that parents can do at home with their children. So hopefully that explains it, guys. I'll run through it one more time. When you're white belt, so if you're just joining now, every single term with us, you get a different piece of kit. When you're white belt, you get the full uniform. When you are yellow tag, you get a license book and a nice Warrior Academy t-shirt. When you are yellow belt, you will receive gloves like this. There are two, not one. So 2 gloves and a head guard, as well as a gun shield and a smart new kit bag to hold all your stuff in. And finally, guys, when you are green tag belt, you get the yellow board. So hopefully that explains everything. And I'm looking forward to getting all the kit out next week. The reason we don't give the kit out in the first 2 weeks is because we want students to get back into a routine. We want students to develop that control that typically slides away slowly over the summer holidays. So before we say, here's some sparring kit, we want students to be back into their routine, back into line work, remembering everything they've done, getting back into that disciplined martial arts environment before we inject some new kit into it. And one last thing I'll say, tomorrow I'm going to do a live and I'm going to speak about what really is the biggest thing that separates the Warrior Academy to any other martial arts club out there. And that is our character development workbook and also our online training as well. So obviously, we're a character development organization. We feel that the development in a martial artist, especially a young person, the goal shouldn't be a black belt, but more so a black belt character. And that's why I believe most of you have signed up to be with us, because of our focus on developing concentration, conduct, confidence, perseverance, courtesy, self-control, integrity, for developing, our strong moral compass. And that is what our character development program achieves. So looking forward to seeing you guys tomorrow. Thank you guys very much for joining in, for all the comments, guys. And I'll be on roughly the same time tomorrow. So take care.